He has what he needs to be a starting quarterback for this Eagles team.
What does he have? What does he have?
He's a winner.
Okay.
He's a winner. He's going to win games for you.
Okay.
Welcome back in, everybody. Wednesday on Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis hanging with you. 3 hours of power being brought your way. Phillies in a little bit. We'll do a little more hockey as we get some breaking news. By the way, free agency kicks off today. There's all kinds of stuff going on hockey-wise. So any kind of breaking news of big names, we'll keep you posted. But according to multiple reports, looks like the Devils are the front runner for Johnny Gaudreau. Not a done deal. Not a done deal by any stretch. If that changes, if anything, we hear anything, we'll let you know. All right, let's move over to some football, guys. 13 days away from training camp for the Birds as we count down the days till they get started here for real. So I thought today'd be kind of a fun day to do some futures. Let's do some look ahead. We're sitting here now with a team that I think from an Eagles standpoint that you feel pretty encouraged about what they did in the offseason. They went a little bit further than we all thought last year, surprised us, most of us, a little bit last season, getting to the playoffs. So the expectations have been raised and the bars have been raised as well. So let's do some futures, guys. So I'm going to throw this one at you. We'll start with the guy that a lot of this hinges upon, and that would be Jalen Hurts. There's been quite a bit of discussion, if you haven't heard this week, about Jalen Hurts from a lot of different circles. But here's the question I have for you. Will Jalen Hurts be the Eagles starting quarterback in the 2024 season? You're muted, Gunner. So 2 seasons from now, not this season right, and even next, 24.
2024?
Yeah.
I'll let Barrett start this one.
Barrett, all yours, man.
You know I'm going to answer. Da-da. Da-da-da.
You slowed it down a little. Yeah. I think you took a da out of it.
I thought he was leading into a song or something for a minute.
No, I think he is.
Yeah.
And even to put, a stamp of approval on that, I'm saying that he's going to be a $40 million guy a year. $40 million a year guy in 2024. I mean, that's where you have to look at it. The only way that he's back here in 2024 is if he's solidified himself as the starting quarterback and that he's the quarterback of the future. So you would have to pay him accordingly. He would no longer be under that rookie contract.
All right, so you believe. You are a believer.
I truly believe he has what he needs to be a starting quarterback for this Eagles team.
What does he have? What does he have?
He's a winner.
Okay.
He's a winner. He's going to win games for you.
Okay.
And that's an attribute that, that you can have you can have a cannon in the arm. Look at Justin Herbert. Everybody's on Gaga and Google over him. He has a potent running game. He has a legit wide receiver core. He has a legit defense. But he's been in the league, 2 or 3 years now? Has amassed over 10,000 yards passing. Over 100 right around 100 touchdowns in the last 3 years. He's probably close to 100 touchdowns. And he has no playoff experience. So it's not all about the cannon of an arm, reading defense, all this. What it's about is winning. Winning. I mean, even look at Mac. Number 5 has done everything that you would want from a franchise quarterback. He's been in a Super Bowl. He just hadn't won a Super Bowl. That's 5 championship games he's been in. But his record, the numbers that he's compiled don't necessarily reflect his performance on the field because his team has won with him. He's allowed his team to win. Yes, he had a great defense, which, helped him out a lot, but still, he still has won. And that's the biggest thing. That win in that check in the win column is what it should be about. It doesn't necessarily have to be all about statistics and all that. It's about your ability to get your team to win. And that's what it's all about. And I think that Jalen Hurts has that. Now, if you want to call that an intangible, so be it. He's won everywhere he's been. He's won. He was in the playoffs his first year starting. Of course, he has some growing to do. But what young quarterback doesn't have growing? We're just not patient with young quarterbacks because it's a microwave type of society, man. At the end of the day, if this kid wins, then pay him accordingly. And I think that's the biggest thing.
I guess the question I would have off of that, Barrett, is your stance that he's going to get better to the point where he will win a Super Bowl for the Eagles, or it should be good enough that he gets them to the playoffs and he's a, winning productive quarterback? For me, it's about Super Bowls. It's not just about being Ryan Tannehill and getting his team to the playoffs.
All right. He's won a national championship with Alabama. Like it or not,
But you could also say he lost his job too at Alabama.
Well, I mean, everybody loses their job, bro. If that, even
do they win that game if he stays in there in the second half and Saban doesn't pull the plug and put two in?
I think so. I really do think so because of that. I truly believe that if you watch Tua the next season, he didn't necessarily blow things away. He wasn't just out there just balling. If you look at the production, I mean, he actually had more production than Tua did that very next year. It's just that once you pull the trigger on pulling a starting quarterback out, you're pretty much stuck with it because you don't want your team to be flip-flopping back and forth. So you're kind of set there. But I really think that if you'd have kept, Jalen Hurts in there, I mean, he'd have still been a very, very productive team, and they'd have still went to the championship game even that next year also. In fact, he got him to the championship game the next year because he came in and pulled off the win to get him to the championship game, even though they lost. So I really truly believe that Jalen Hurts is just he's always gonna be in a position where he's gonna succeed. His teams will win. And at the end of the day, that's what you want a quarterback to win. Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl. I know the defense,
behind one of the greatest defenses in the history of pro football.
Right. And, there's a lot of guys that done that. I mean,
was Jim McMahon a great quarterback? No. Bears, the 85 Bears, they're one of the greatest defenses in the history of pro football.
Hell, Wilson. You know what I'm saying? Wilson, they won a Super Bowl in spite of him.
Russell Wilson, yeah. He didn't have a great Super Bowl.
He didn't have a great Super Bowl at all.
They had that Legion of Boom. Yeah.
Exactly. Big Ben.
Yeah.
Big Ben did not blow people away in Super Bowl 40. You know what I'm saying? He was just Ben Roethlisberger then. He didn't become Big Ben until
you're right, but then the follow-up to that is going to be you're going to have to surround him with exceptional, rarefied air. Like the examples we just used were the 85 Bears. I mean, that defense is arguably the best defense that's ever played. That Baltimore team in 2001 was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
I love what the Eagles did, but they're not even in the same conversation with those teams.
Even Pittsburgh,
right.
And their defense at the time.
Yeah.
But that's my point is, like, I give him credit. He's won a lot in his career, but just being a guy who can get you to the playoffs isn't enough.
Well, I mean, that's so every team in the NFL is trying to win a Super Bowl. They're not going to keep me in just. Can he win a Super Bowl?
Unless you play for Houston. they ain't trying to win nothing.
And look, I'm not sitting here telling you he can't. I'm not saying that. The question is, can he elevate his game?
Yes, he can. Yes, he can. I'm saying this because I believe in his intangibles, in his ability to take a game over. That he can do, and that's what you need to be as far as a Super Bowl winning quarterback. You have to be able to take a game over. And I believe his intangibles can.
My opinion is right now, I don't know. I don't know if he can. I'm telling you the truth. I'm not trying to cop out and sit on the fence because I'm not a fence sitter. But I really need to see this year before I can say he can take it to the next level. Well, I don't know.
In 2024, if you're a believer in his skill set, then you're saying that he's going to be the guy 2024. So you might as well say that, if you believe in him being the quarterback here in 2024, they're not going to have him here and not be the franchise quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So if he's here,
right,
evidently the organization believes that he can win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. So forward. You're assuming then, and again, that's fine. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but you're assuming a big leap this year cements him as their guy going forward, and they're not using first round picks either on him. Either on a draft pick or to trade up or to trade to try to get one. That he has a good enough year where they're locking him up to major money and he's their guy going forward. They're committing to him.
Right. I think they're committing to him. And it's not still to take away that they still won't get a quarterback, because if my memory serves me right, the Eagles had their franchise quarterback and paid him, and they still drafted the guy in the second round. You know what I'm
Kevin
saying?
Cobb.
No. I'm talking about
Wentz.
the situation you had with Wentz.
Wentz.
I mean,
Yeah,
but that
yeah,
also
Wentz.
sent him off the deep end. I'm not saying that would happen with Hurts. I'm just saying,
You know it won't happen with Hurts.
You better have the right
how he's
guy.
built. Yeah.
Okay. Gunner, where do you fall on this?
I agree with some of the stuff Barrett says. If the I'll put it like this: if the Eagles continue to put talent around him, he has a chance to be here in 2024. Based on what we hear about his work ethic, nobody will outwork him. Does that equate to him being a better reader of defenses? Can you get his arm stronger? I'm not going to use the term a weak arm because I don't think he has a weak arm. He doesn't
have a weak arm.
Right.
People keep saying that. He does not have a weak
arm. Right.
He can make all the passes.
I'm not going to say that. Yes. I'm not going to say he has a weak arm. I think the Eagles are all in on trying to make him a quarterback of not just the present, but the future, so they can continue to address other areas of this team to make them as strong as possible, to be as complete a team as they can possibly be. So we look at what the Eagles did for them offensively. Now, they have one of the best offensive line coaches in the game. Hopefully he stays here forever. We already know no matter who they put on that offensive line, they're going to have a decent offensive line because of the work ethic and that Stoutland puts in to make these guys as versatile and as NFL ready as possible. We know they're going to always have a stable of running backs. They may never have that one running back like a Jonathan Taylor, a Derrick Henry. I mean, they may always have a trio of backs, and there's nothing wrong with that because a lot of teams do that nowadays. So I am going to lean towards Barrett at this time and say I believe he will be here in 2024. I believe he will improve this season. To what degree, obviously, we have no idea. We don't know. The numbers will show us by the end of the season. But right now, as we sit here today, based on a lot of speculation, a lot of gray areas, a lot of ifs and ands and whys and buts, Barrett has inspired me to a certain degree. So I'm going to lean towards Barrett and say, I believe he will be here in 2024 with the caveat, it doesn't mean they won't draft a quarterback somewhere.
What, when you say the drafting part, is it
might be a second or third round? I don't know if they'll use a first round pick on him. Not a high. Yeah, right.
Then Then that's a thought that it's going to go well for him. Okay.
Yep.
Well, I mean, so explain to me, Rob. What's your take on it? What's your notion on a direction that Jalen Hurts is going to go?
Well, I think Barrett.
Hey, Rob, be careful now because you might, your story, whatever you say, might get twisted 85,000 ways from the original story, like somebody else did a few days ago.
Look, I hear you. Whatever. I don't go about things. I don't care what they twist, whatever you want. Twist it.
Thank you. That's why I say thank you.
Here's where I am on this. I think that a lot of the things you laid out, Barrett, dead on. I don't buy the weak arm. I think he's got to be better at progressions. He can throw a deep ball. I don't have any doubt about that. He works as hard, if not harder, than anybody in the game at maybe any position. I don't doubt that. He's a leader. Guys want to play for him. I don't doubt that. All of those things are really necessary to succeed in the league. I just need to see him as a passer against a good defense in a big spot. Show me that he can be that guy. I don't know right now. And I will give him this.
That's fair.
Yeah, and I give him this. He didn't have enough last year. He didn't have enough help.
Not even near enough.
No, he didn't have enough. He certainly didn't have enough receivers. And he had when you're only counting on a rookie, as much as I love Devontae Smith, rookie receivers are still learning how to play the position, and to not have somebody else that was even borderline dynamic. That's why I'm willing to say, you know what I saw last year may not be truly who this guy is. Plus, what also has to be taken into account, he's in the second year of this system, which is huge for this guy. He hasn't had this since high school. That's a big deal. So I want to see it, Barrett. That's all I'm saying. It's not I'm not buying this. No, I'm saying I think he might be able to do it, but I really need to see it. That's sort of the positive side. The negative side is I wish there was that game where I said, man, he carried them with his arm. It was a lot of sort of running and some other stuff. I just needed to see a little bit more.
But you can't say, man, he carried him with his legs.
Yes.
So
yes.
he has carried them, right?
He's carried them. Yeah, for sure.
All right. So, all right. So I'm gonna give you one. What did he do in the Atlanta game?
He threw it pretty well in the Atlanta game. Yeah, he threw it pretty well.
He threw it more than pretty well.
Yeah, he definitely had good games, Barry. I'm not saying he didn't. Look, you're right. At the end of the day, man, it's about winning. It doesn't matter how you get it done. As long as your team wins, just win. It can be win ugly, win pretty. Who cares?
All right,
just win.
I'm gonna give you another quarterback.
All right,
I'm gonna give you another quarterback, Matthew Stafford.
Yeah,
for 10 years, he's been hovering around that 45 to 5,000 yard mark as far as passing. He had the best wide receiver in the league for like 6 or 7 of those years.
Yeah.
But did they win a playoff game?
No, and that's a team fault for sure.
That's
a team fault. Yeah.
So you need more than just a gun.
I agree.
A quarterback with an arm.
I agree.
And weapons to win Super Bowl. Yeah. So you can't. I hate when people try to equate, all right, can he win you a Super Bowl? That's why I don't like that, because it doesn't matter what your arm is or how talented you are with your arm. If you don't have the team around you to help you build,
I agree,
and make you a better quarterback. Now, this team has done it for him this year, and it's starting from last year.
The NFL is the ultimate village. Okay, it takes a village. Now you need to be fortunate enough to fall in with the right coach. I think Patrick Mahomes is an incredible talent, but did it help him a lot that he had Andy Reid to help grow him? Yes, of course. Josh Allen has a lot of raw. Just look at the guy with the cannon. He can run. He's big and all that. But he had Brian Dable to help grow him, and an organization that supported him with making smart moves. This is where I think it's interesting with Hurts. The Eagles realized in the offseason, man, we better get him a real wideout to go with Devontae Smith, and they did with A.J. Brown. You know, he's got a good offensive line. Like, that's why I think it's fascinating, because it's there for him now from a talent around him. Yeah. The only thing I don't know for sure, I don't know about Steichen and Sirianni 100% yet. I don't know. And that'll lead us into some of our other questions, but I'm not sure. So, look, I know this is going to sound like I'm kind of like on the fence with this, and maybe I am. I don't know right now. I need to see this year before I can go.
We're all on the fence, and anybody who says they're not is lying. Because if you look at our chat comment daily, if you look at all the comments daily on social media, it's all about, well, Jalen has to show this, Jalen has to show that. Okay, that's a fair assessment. That's not saying he can't. It's just that we haven't seen enough of it yet.
Yeah.
But then, you say the wrong thing and people run with it 85 different ways. And the story that's originally told is never told accurately,
right?
Once it gets to the 85th person. So, it's a fair assessment. There's too many gray areas right now.
I just think two other things. I really, and this is going to go to the side of Hurts for a second, but it's a general complaint that I have about quarterbacks. Far too often we do what's a quarterback's record against a winning team?
Exactly.
I'm sorry. Was the quarterback playing defense? Was he the one blocking?
Right.
Was he the one who didn't catch a pass that was right in his hands in the end zone? Like, I just think that's such a BS thing to lay it always on a quarterback in a team sport.
He's 4-12 against this franchise.
Yeah.
What does the franchise put around him?
Right. And if you watch the game, the other team scored 33 points. It's crazy. So I think that's unfair, because sometimes last year teams, people will say, how did he do against really good defenses? Well, how'd the team do? And that playoff game, granted, he didn't play well at all, but neither did the Eagles defense. Brady took his foot off the gas, basically. He could have just shredded them for 50 in that game.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so, all right. So that's the first one. That's our first future. All right, so then that leads us to Nick Sirianni. Will Nick Sirianni be the Eagles head coach in 2024? Same year I gave you for Hurts. Will Sirianni still be the Eagles head coach? Because we know that the Eagles front office is not afraid to pull the trigger if things aren't going to their likings, i.e. Doug Peterson, who won a Super Bowl and was out, a few years after that. Will Sirianni be the coach 2 years from now in 2024? D-Gun, you get the first crack at this one.
Yes. I believe he will. I believe he's everything that they want in a coach. He is a person that embraces an organization. He doesn't alienate. I think the Eagles learned a valuable lesson from the Chip Kelly fiasco. I think Doug Peterson would have still been here if he had gotten some of the things that he wanted, you know. And I think the Eagles learned from that lesson as well, because that was a mutual admiration society, and it still is, between Doug Peterson and the Eagles front office. So I think they learned from that as well. And so I think they will do everything in their power to keep Nick Sirianni here. He's a young, innovative mind. He has the type of game plan that Jeffrey Lurie loves. And the players love playing for him. So, yeah, I think he'll be here. I think he'll be here. If he continues to win and be consistent, I don't think he's going anywhere unless he wants to.
Okay, fair enough, Barrett.
I think that he will. And that just so happens to be his contract year also, which is also tied with Howie Roseman's contract year, which is also tied with Jalen Hurts' contract year.
Interesting.
You know what I'm saying? So all those coming together, I think that he will be, because, you know, like I'm saying that Jalen Hurts will be here. And if Jalen Hurts is here, those guys are tied at the hip, including Howie Roseman. And I think all three of those guys are going to be here. I mean, all two of those guys will be here. So, yeah, I think so. Do I think that he's a good coach? Yes, I do. I think he understands the dynamic of how to
relate to players.
Yeah, relate to them. But I really like how he patronizes. You know, I don't know if it's patronization, because but his older players, as it
connects, how he connects with them.
Does he let them get away with a lot of stuff? I mean, not really necessarily get away with it, but he kind of, makes sure that they're taken care of. You know what I'm saying? And he schmoozes those guys over. I don't know if you can call that patronizing. He schmoozes them over, allows them to do a lot more, have
maintenance
a lot more
days, stuff like that.
Yeah. So he understands the dynamics of older players with this young coaching staff. He's done that and went about that the right way. You know what I'm saying? That goes a long way when you have players that are elder statesmen on the team. I do think that, but I was one more point, on Hurts. If you look at Trevor Lawrence numbers and look at Jalen Hurts' numbers last year, how would you compare those two?
I would say, but in fairness to Trevor Lawrence, he was in total dysfunction, Barrett, with that organization.
Not only that, but Jacksonville's offensive line was nowhere near as good as the Eagles.
I don't think that's fair to Lawrence, honestly.
Trevor Lawrence running for his life back there.
Yeah, that was chaos, dude.
So I don't see how people can't make the comparison when he's throwing at Jalen Rager, guys like that. Look,
it's fair. He didn't have
the staff. All that stuff is the same.
But
thing
he had stability, though, Barrett.
Yeah, but Barrett, we also talked about how he missed, how many targets he missed wide open in the flats, stuff like that. That's what we're talking about. And it leaked last season about him going through
2 drop passes, receivers
running out of
bounds.
Question. All that
stuff comes to dysfunction. That's why I don't like when people just say that. All right, he's not going to learn it. He doesn't have an NFL arm. See, that's the type of stuff that I don't get. You talk about numbers.
You never heard me say that. I've always said you don't have to have a cannon. Well,
that's my fault. That's my fault, because I'm looking at the stream and then I'm trying to answer their questions. They're saying this and saying that. You know what I mean?
I've never. You don't have to have a laser for an arm to be successful in the NFL.
I mean, do they think Tom Brady's arm is a laser arm?
What, Steve Young? Steve Young didn't have a laser arm.
It's about ball placement. I mean, that's what it's about.
Exactly.
I don't worry. Honestly, you never hear me bring up arm strength when I'm talking about Hurts. I don't worry about that. That's not something I'm concerned about. It's more of a progression thing and not wanting to take off right away, just sticking in the pocket, climbing the pocket. That's where
that progression thing also comes from being coached.
I agree.
Through your progressions, if you're running RPOs, the RPO progression is a lot different from sitting back in the pocket and throwing, progression in routes and things of that nature. They start out with that damn RPO. RPOs only work because you only have one route to throw to after you get from the run and the scramble or whatever it is, the running for your life. Running that damn RPO, so he wasn't really taught to sit back and throw the ball until later on in the season.
Right.
So when you talk about progression, you have to learn progression from guys being taught that. He hasn't been taught that really in the capacity that, other guys have been taught. RPO is not a progression type of offense.
Gotcha. All right. Fair enough. Look, well, here's where I'm at. And the original question was about regarding Sirianni.
Oh, yes. Sirianni, yes, he will be here. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think the Eagles want to be a revolving door of coaches. I don't think they want that. I think they brought in Nick Sirianni for a reason. I think that Nick Sirianni showed a lot of chops last year in keeping this thing together and turning it around. I think he will be. I think he'll be here. I think he'll be the Eagles coach in 2 years from now, starting the 24 season. I do believe.
I thought you were a really firm guy with Sirianni. You like the Sirianni a lot, right?
I like Sirianni. Yeah, I do. I actually do. Let me throw one more at you, and then we'll roll some of these over to the next segment. But how will we feel good? I'm doing this at the end of this year. Okay, will we feel good about Jonathan Gannon as the defensive coordinator?
Ooh.
I'm going to take that first. I think we will. I think we will have rave reviews and say, wow, this guy looks like a completely different coach than what we saw last year, which means he'll probably be gone in 23, but that means someone will have grabbed him up and be gone. I think he's going to do a good job. I think they gave him options. They gave him a lot of diversification that he could do with the between the defensive line, a good linebacking crew, a better secondary. And I think he'll show more aggression. And I think this will be a very good defense for the Eagles. Therefore, I think we will feel good about Jonathan Gannon. How about you, Barrett?
See, this the one I'm most undecided on when it comes to this Gannon whole situation, because I really don't know how he feels as though he's going to be a 3-4 guy and a 4-down guy. I didn't see that in Minnesota. Minnesota was a 4-down defense. And I want to see how he's going to, run a system. He had 3 boss linebackers and he had 2 guys that could rush the passer while in Minnesota. So I want to see, this is one of those times when I'm going to say I'm going to wait and see. Because number one, he has to be able to get these guys to buy in. So I think they bought in, but he also had to get these guys to really switch from being a one-gap, get up the field type of defensive line, and then have those same guys switch to a 2-gapping, keep guys off the linebacker defensive line within plays, back-to-back plays or, every other play. That's a hard concept to get these guys to understand and really buy into. So, that's hard. And plus, his name is getting brought up with all these coaching jobs, and he say he interviews well. So, from that aspect, it really doesn't matter if he has a great year in coaching because people outside of the organization love him.
Yeah, I don't worry about him finding employment or whatever. I want to be good here. I want to be good here. But you sound like you're not as confident.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Not.
How about you, Derrick?
I've been on record a number of times saying I felt that he didn't have the talent he wanted to do some of the things he wanted in 2021. And just like with Jalen Hurts, Howie Roseman went out and got Jonathan Gannon better pieces to the equation to make the product overall better. This team was at the bottom of the league last year in quarterback sacks. I think they should improve that significantly. They were at the bottom of the league in terms of big plays allowed, 3rd down situations. I think that will improve significantly. So I say, yeah, we're going to feel pretty good about Jonathan Gannon at the conclusion of this season. I still have reservations, rightfully so, until I see it. But I think because of all the pieces, he's got himself a better pass rusher in Hassan Reddick. He's got a better linebacking group. He's got a good piece to complement Darius Slay on the other side. He went out and got a veteran safety to put on the back end. He's gotten bigger and thicker in the trenches and a better rotation by drafting Jordan Davis. So I think there's no way on God's green earth that Jonathan Gannon's defense should not improve in 2022. Yeah,
and let me be real clear. If they aren't massively improved with the additions they made in personnel, then the Eagles should think about moving on after this offseason, after this season, frankly.
Yeah.
Because they gave him a lot of tools to work with. big time, in a big way. So, all right, you guys will keep that rolling. All right, we'll push some of the Phillies discussion we were going to do back because I got a bunch more I want to hit you with.
Good conversation.
One of them includes better quarterback 3 years from now.
Oh, geez.
Wow.
Mac Jones, Trevor Lawrence, Tua. I'm going to keep Burrow out of it because I think he's taking it to a different level. We got Hurts, Mac Jones, Trevor Lawrence, and Tua. I'll ask you about those young cats when we get back. All right, but I got a bunch more for you for sure.
Hey, bro, and also, man, I mean, just want you guys to know, Captain Tony says this is my fishing rod, right? He says, I have your fishing rod available for rent on Saturday. I'm renting my own fishing rod.
Oh, my God. He is.
Sounds like some D Gun stuff there.
Yeah, there's some dirty pool going on here, man. I don't know. You better be careful. Like, you're going to get shanked on this boat, man. You better watch yourself. I'm worried about you going on this trip now.
Day 37. Yeah. Barrett Brooks still missing at sea.
I'm telling you, man. We might have to veto this trip, this competition. All right, so let's step aside. We'll keep it going with the Eagles futures when we get back. Derrick Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. All right, let's talk about Pro Action Restoration because I want everybody to kind of get ahead of the game here. Or if you're experiencing this issue, I got the lifeline for you right now. If your home, your business, a property you own has either water, fire, smoke, mold damage, whatever the case may be, call Pro Action Restoration. They're on.